A very good morning to all of you. I, Indrajit Kaur Bamra, on the behalf of Valuation Standards Boards of ICI, welcome you all in Valuation Manthan Session 23, that is on intellectual property valuation. So today I would like to invite the chairman of the Valuation Standard Boards for the opening remarks. Welcome, sir.
Yeah, thank you, Indrajit. Thank you very much. The learned speaker of the day, Sumit Kumar Vij, and dear in all those who are participants from the across India and rather many from the overseas also. And I welcome each one of you to this series. Today is the 23rd in the row, Valuation Manthan series 23 today. And naturally, you see, like the journey which thought of with the support of my co-chairperson, Preeti Savla. She hails from western part from Mumbai, and the support of many external and internal team, office team, and many of the speakers, those who have really been kind enough and the supportive always to this board. This series has been really gaining momentum. Every series by series, many participants are being added with. Today it is in running not in hundreds but in thousands. So far, many have learnt it, and many have really got an idea how to value the different on the different parameters, whether it is the regulatory or the non-regulatory business required, or on any other front the valuation needs has happened with, whether in the regulation system of the IBBI, other Companies Act, or in the FEMA, or in even in income tax, and many other regulations wherever the valuation front has been opened for the professional fraternity, not limiting to that, merger acquisitions, or wherever the business transactions are happening place, there also it has been need has been felt with. And today you see, like, it's not limiting this profession of the chartered accountancy or the valuation professional in itself. They are not limiting themselves to the accounting and audit and tax side, but all across we have well understood the business, well understood the scenario whatsoever is going on across the globe today with the G20 presidentship of the India. Naturally, many momentum, many things which are emerging in the business or the economic system, they are different from the earlier days when India used to be a self-contained or the self-sustained system. This economy was controlled and the command by the country itself, but now it is the world which India looks at, and world looks at India also. So with this understanding, my only simply saying ki we have to gather best of the knowledge, best of the command on the decision process, or the mentally we have to understand which is good and which is not good for the valuation system, or the ethics whatsoever is being required to be taken care of while valuing any of the assets or any of the business or any of the organization. So those things has always to be kept in mind while understanding. And this board as such is definitely in the process has advancing towards not limiting to the financial assets, maybe in the time to come, plant and machinery, land and building, which IBBI has already authorized to the registered valuer organization of the ICI to move ahead, to go ahead. They have given the license, they have given the permission for the furtherance of the wings of this our same benefit will go to the valuation standard board also, and each and every participants and each and every person, those who are into the valuation system also. And many a time we feel like what other has to be taken care of by this valuation standard board. Wherever you feel like any kind of the feedback or any kind of the further advancement where you feel like these activities can also be undertaken with, though many research activities are in the process, many newer ideas has been understood with the support from the office and the external our resources which are there, not limiting to the country, overseas also. So we all have to understand the profession needs always an advancement. Profession always needs an development, but that has also to be followed some principle and some rules of the game. So, with the support from the our co-chairperson Preeti Savla, and with the support from each one of you, and each one of the participants being proactive, this board is growing with leaps and bounds, and with at the on a continuous pace. This board will be bringing out so many good things in the time to come. Also, with these initial remarks, I once again welcome each one of you. Maybe Preeti Savla, my co-chairperson, will be joining at any moment. Once she joins, she may also like to share some of the words with her. So, with this initial remarks, I'll hand it over to Inderjeet for the taking the procedure forward. Over to you, Inderjeet.
Thank you so much, Chairman Sir, for your engaging opening remarks, which have truly ignited our excitement for today's webinar. And your visionary leadership and commitment to excellence have paved the way for gathering of industry experts and professionals. So, today we have the webinar on intellectual property valuation. So together we all will delve into the intricacies of valuation, and we will engage in thought-provoking discussions, and we will learn from our distinguished speaker. So today we are honored to have with us a true luminary in this field, someone whose expertise and accomplishments have left an indelible mark on the industry. So we have today Subit Kumar Vij, our distinguished tax professional with over 17 years of extensive experience in direct tax advisory, litigation, and company structuring. He is also a specialist in transfer pricing and international taxation. Sumichi holds a graduate degree in commerce from Delhi University and is a fellow member of ICI. With a background in law and international taxation, he has previously held leadership roles in both listed and multinational companies, as well as worked with reputed law firms. Sir's expertise extends to advisory on DSIR recognitions and CSIR funding for research and development in corporate settings. He brings a wealth of knowledge to the session on the valuation of intellectual rights. So I would like to invite Sumit sir on the behalf of Valuation Boards of ICI. So welcome, sir.
Yeah, thanks a lot, Indrajit ji. And I will first of all make a special thanks to our chairman of Valuation Standard Board of ICI, CA Hansraj Chugji, for giving me the opportunity, and CA Rahul Ahwal ji, who was in touch with me from last more than 10 days, and CA Dimple Kaur ji, and CA Preeti Paras Savla ji. Although she is not here, but with all your blessings, I got the opportunity to share my views on the today's topic. So I thanks to all participants for joining, and with this, I try to share my views on the current today's topic. So today, as already mentioned, that it is the intellectual property valuation, and I pray that I make a justice to the today's topic. So with this, I would like to introduce a little bit with the with the term intellectual property. Although we have all studied this in when we were student, and it's nothing new which is in the topic, but yes, with the over a period, there's a development, and as mentioned by Hansraj Chugji, that the things have started change, and with this G20 also, and more needs to come, and this overall profession is growing a lot, and there's a professional opportunities which is being thrown by the environment. So let me again introduce a little bit on the term intellectual property, little bit in a unique way. Let's take an example of a daily routine on your life. You wake up from your sleep well mattress, brush your teeth using XYZ Sensodyne toothpaste, you bath with Jaguar shower with a Lux soap, Lakme face wash, then wear Zara clothes. Eat a red banana, fruit in breakfast while reading the Hindu newspaper, and finally drive Kia car to your office. This looks little crazy, where there's not even a single moment you are using anything without any brand. The product that you use have intellectual property in them. So now question arises: what is Sleepwell, what is Sensodyne, what is Jaguar, Lux? As we are all aware that this is the brand. Why there was a need to identify the product with some character inverted commas? So because it's not a matter of using just a product, but some feelings are attached to the same. You know, we used to choose a different product with a different brand. Some people use maybe Colgate. Some people use maybe um, this Himalayas one or XYZ. There are a lot of brands that is available in the market. So we have some feelings or something which attach and which satisfy us from we get satisfied with from that product. So other product may not give much satisfaction. So we are attached to one or two brands. We change over a period of time also, because we feel that there is some value that is attached to the product, that is inherent in the product itself. So an intangible, now coming this is the intellectual property, so which is part and parcel of intangible assets. So intangible assets, we should go through the definition of the intangible assets as well. The intangible assets is an identifiable non-monetary asset without physical substance. Such an asset is identifiable when it is separable, when it arises from other legal rights. Separable assets can be sold, transferred, licensed, etc. So intangible assets, as we are all aware, that is identifiable non-monetary assets. No, so there's no physical substance is there's no physical presence of that intangible assets. Yes, but that can be, we will come to the other slides where it is mentioned that how this intangible asset gets identifiable later. So intangible assets, which includes an idea, knowledge, creative innovation, design, patents, copyright, brand equity, and hence collectively forms intellectual capital of the company. So there's a lot of beside the tangible assets, there's a lot that is involved in the company that helps the company to run the business, to earn the revenues, you know, that which is हम कहते हैं ना कि अदृश्य है. तो कुछ ऐसी चीजें होती हैं जो अदृश्य हैं, which is part and parcel, which contributes to the company and which is part and parcel of overall assets. जो दिखती हैं that is tangible, जो नहीं दिखती हैं that is intangible. And but still, without its physical presence, it contributes a lot, rather more than sometimes the tangible assets. Common examples of items of intangible assets are computer software, patents, copyrights, trademarks, brand, motion picture films, customer list, yes, customer list, I mean, and the contracts, franchisee, marketing rights, non-competition arrangements, internal domain names, distribution network, literary works, musical works, telecom licenses, gaming platforms, XYZ, a lot. So intangible assets may be transferable. So this is its nature, that it can be transferred also. An intangible asset can be either bought, sold, rented, etc. So it is not something that which is not physically seen, cannot be transferred. So as we are all aware that the intangible assets can be transferred, there is some basis to it. There is underlying document with the help of which we can transfer it. So intellectual property. Now I come to the topic again, because we have explained the term intangible asset. So intangible asset includes a lot of various intangible assets. The definition includes which is more than the intellectual property. So the intellectual property is an intangible asset, but all intangible assets are not intellectual property. So what is an intellectual property? Let me try to explain in simpler words. So property created out of intelligence. So this is the small and the crux of the definition of the intellectual property. That's property created out of the intelligence. So we can, in simplified words, we can say this बुद्धि की संपत्ति है ना, हमारी जो brain है ना. So there is a lot of as we know that in Srimad Bhagavad Gita it's also said कि हमारे जो बुद्धि है उसमें बहुत सारे तंतु होते हैं, है ना. There is a lot of which is and science has also proven that there is a lot of power in the brain. So एक हमने सुना होगा, कोई एक तो किला होता है ना, किसी ने किला बनाया जैसे लाल किला है ना, दैट इज विच इज टेंजिबल, है ना. कई बार हम एग्जांपल देते हैं या फिर कहावत बोलते हैं हवाई किला तो एक तरह से ये हवाई किला है, एंड दैट इफ इट इज proven and that makes the substance to the business, then that Hawaii Killa also contributes to the business. So that has come out of the intelligence only, out of the mind, no, the intelligence. So the intellectual property refers the creation of the mind, such as the work of art, design, logo, no, that can be drafted, invention, a lot of the. So we have seen recently that our Chandrayaan 3 has gone to the moon. So there is some science to it. There is some software that was there. There was some technology that was there. The people have applied their intelligence to it, and made it such a model that it can softly land it to the moon. And that is the biggest achievement that we have done in the space. Computer programs, database, literary works, recordings, brands, etc. So because of this, which is created now by the ISRO, the whole world is start looking at ISRO, even NASA, although it started from long, the NASA recognized ISRO, the work is being done by the ISRO. So for what they are looking? Because they have created something which is other people have not created yet. So IP, in a short form, which is intellectual property, plays an important role in cultural as well as in economic life, as it covers a wide range of activities. The importance of IP is recognized by various laws which protects intellectual property rights. IP is protected in law by various acts such as Copyright Act. Well, there is a complete list ahead in the separate slide. So intellectual property is concerned with protecting the work of a human intellect. So what will happen? So if the Chandrayaan technology, Chandrayaan's 3's technologies is uh, stolen by the other people, then what will happen? Then whatever the work that is done by the ISRO, I mean, that will be waste for them because they could not earn out of it. They, although they created the value, but the value of that product is used by other. The people has stolen it. So we have seen there are a lot of case laws earlier and lot of things that where this the work the thing which is created by someone is ultimately uh, monetized by other people. So we used to hear the story of Tesla, the person who created or invented the electricity, but it was monetized by the other person, Edison. So intellectual property is concerned with protecting the work of the human intellect, and rights permitted on it allows its owner to benefit from creation of intellectual endeavor by creating a monopoly over it. So the person has put its effort, he put his day and night, his mind, he spent his sleepless nights. So all things, he has spent his money also. So all the efforts that is placed by a person uh, to create something that is intellectual property, if that is not protected, then the person will not feel good. Such a benefit is not always natural right but requires recognition by statute. Hence, IP plays an important role in modern era, and it plays a key role in every sector. So this is the list of various acts where the intellectual property, the various types of intellectual property is covered by various laws. So there's a Copyright Act, there's a Patent Act, and there's a Protection of Plant Variety and Farmers' Rights Act, and so on. So we heard it that so far that there is a killer of which the registry can be done. There's a house, you can say there's a house or of which the registry can be, which is a tangible property, or a plot is there or flat is there, whatever. So now the question arises, can we do registry of intellectual property? हवाई किले की registry हो सकती है? The answer is yes, if it creates value. In various acts above, there are procedures to register your art, design, logo, inventions, computer programs, database, literary works, recordings, brands, etc. So under these acts, there are provisions where the person can make an application and satisfy the authority that whatever that is done by him out of his intelligence needs to be recognized and needs to be enlisted in his name, either as a patent or as a copyright, as a trademark, XYZ. So that the person who has done something gets benefit out of it. So nobody can steal it for a particular period. So this is not that is forever. Sorry, this is not forever that the laws gives permission to take up monopoly of the product or the intellectual property, but it is for a just certain limited period. The act allows the person to take benefit of it. So registry of the intellectual property can be done. It in simpler words, the registration can be done, and the person after registration apply, and then the license is provided. Then license is equals to the registry of the property. We can understand in simpler words. In various acts above, there are procedures. We have understood that the property rights are very essential to develop innovation and creation as artists, inventors, scientists, businesses put a lot of time, money, energy to make their creation. We have already seen this. In order to encourage them to create more, and such innovation is by giving them rights to protect their intellectual property. It is an exclusive right over the use of his or her creation for a certain period of time, and some depending on payment for maintaining the IP right, after which they fall in the public domain to be used for further creative endeavors. Hence, owners of created gets benefit as well as the control over the exploitation of their creation. It is not something that a person who has done something and get the same register in his name. That is the only thing that improvement cannot be done. But yes, that the person has the exclusive right for certain period. After that, the things gets open in a public domain to be used for further creative endeavors by various other people, or maybe by the same person also. Because that is the thing only, that the technology is getting changed. Earlier we used to have a very different type of cycle, big wheels of it, and we have seen at that time that the design was different, and nowadays the cycle comes with a battery, and which doesn't require even paddling, so this is something which is the endeavors, further creative endeavors over that product. So that is the way of improving the technology also. So now, can we value the intelligence? Now the question arises: what is sleep wealth and this Sensodyne and all these things? Why there was a need to identify the product? So we have seen it that there is something which gives more value to the product besides its inherent nature. So beside the toothpaste there that will clean, either it is either a toothpaste, no, it's the Colgate or Promise or whatever. The toothpaste is there. Every toothpaste will clean the teeth, but we are attached to something, and that gives us to little bit more satisfaction, and that is according to our taste and all this thing, that creates something, no, that creates value for me. It's not always that each and everything creates value for all people. So I take an example. There was I have seen when I was in industry, I not name anyone, but I take an example of it. दो इंडस्ट्रियलिस्ट थे, अब एक बैठे थे तो मीटिंग चल रही थी, और मीटिंग में बात हुई कि पान खाना है, वो भी कहाँ का, कलकत्ता का। तो अभी कलकत्ता का पान कहाँ है, दिल्ली पहुंचना है, और वो लोग दिल्ली बैठे हैं और पान कहाँ है, कलकत्ता का, है ना। तो उस केस में the one industry ordered it immediately, and then from there the helicopter came, then the person came with that pan, maybe some time, but that pan came from there. So there was a value attached to it from that particular vendor who was making it. The person, the pan wala जो बना रहा था, उसकी कुछ value थी, उसका creation था, उसका pan का जो taste था, that gives the value to that industrialist, and that the person has the money, he can pay that amount, he can spend that much, वो एक छोटा से पान की वैल्यू कितनी क्रिएट हो गई है ना। और वही पान में भी जो है किसी और के लिए जो है इतना इंपॉर्टेंट ना हो। So it is not always that the same thing, same brand creates the same value for each and every person. Now importance. Now we come to the valuation standard. So far we have understood the basic of intellectual property. So it was not required that in detail, but although because we have time and also and the unless until the bases are clear, so something which may miss at the time of going forward with the technical part, and so that is why I made certain things in detail. So importance of valuing intangible assets arises, which is intellectual property is a part and parcel of intangible assets we have seen, arises from the fact that the reported net worth of business may not be reflecting its true value, which most likely is in the form of intangible assets. है ना? कोई ऐसी अदृश्य चीज है जो सपोर्ट करती है ना? अब वो पान जो था, पान वहां से आया, कुछ ऐसा था उस मतलब दैट इज इंटेंजिबल फॉर्म, जो पान है वो टेंजिबल फॉर्म है, बट उसका जो वैल्यू है, उसके अंदर जो टेस्ट है, उसका जो विच हैज क्रिएटेड सम वैल्यू फॉर दैट पर्टिकुलर पर्सन, है ना? तो वो जो अदृश्य चीज है, दैट इज which most likely is in the form of intangible assets. Certain areas where the intangible assets are required to be valued as follows. There are some examples where the valuation of intangible assets is required. So sometime, I mean, although that because that intangible or the intellectual property that is contributing to the business, that is not seen, and the person doesn't feel it much, but in the following cases, that is need to be separately identified in the form of a value, because in physical form it is not there, but valuation can be done. There are principles and there are procedures by way of which we can identify the value of that particular intellectual property right or asset. The purchase price allocation for accounting and financial reporting. So business combination. So in case of business combination, these sort of valuation is done because when the two business combined together, so that create different synergy, different type of valuation. So that because of that synergy, so some different intangibles comes into picture. So another case is impairment of asset. So in case of transfer pricing, when the intangible asset is being transferred or licensed, yes, so that should be at arm length. So in order to value it at arm length, that valuation is required. No, there are various bases and principles that is explained, and that is a part of the law of income tax, how that valuation can be done. So in case of merger acquisitions, also in case of financing, uh, sometime that those intangibles is used as a collateral, so that should have value, no? Because of that value, the financing will be provided. Litigation, so bankruptcy, insurance. So insurance such as the determining the personal worth of the celebrity, of the name, fame of a particular person as a value. So basic principles, I hope that I am going with a soothing speed and everybody understanding the way this topic is going on. So now coming to the basic principles, in conjunction with the principles prescribed in the framework for the preparation of valuation report, there's a separate framework that is provided by the ICI. So some of the principles are listed here. The user of the valuation report. So we are professional, and the ICI is a governing body, and that has prescribed the various standards to make us understand and to help us to how to value a particular asset. So our duty is that we should follow whatever standards that have been provided by the ICI, keeping in mind the various basic principles. The basic principle is that the user of the valuation report, that the valuation for whom that valuation is being done. So maybe a potential investor is there, maybe it is for the employee in case of a sweet equity shares, maybe lenders, maybe supplier, and other trade creditors, maybe customer, government, or various agencies, or maybe for the public as well. Scope. The objective of the valuation report, the usefulness of the information in the valuation report, and the fundamental ethical principles to be observed by the valuer. It's our duty. The objective of valuation report is remembering that information provided in the valuation report is useful to the intended user. So our objective while making a valuation report should be that it should serve the purpose for which it is being made. Understandability. It should not be that technical. So, but it should be like that. We should use that sort of language. We have seen the example of the language yesterday in case of G20, where earlier in Bali, I've gone through one news that in when the G20 was there in Bali, this declaration report that is signed yesterday. In case of the Bali was different compared to the yesterday's one. So that the language matters. So in that report, just for the information, that report the language was that the Russia has made an attack on the Ukraine. So and due to that the war has started. But India has used, without using the word Russia, India used these words like that the war in Ukraine. So who has made the war? How it has started? So nothing is there. So the type of language that we should use, that it should make happy to everyone. Everybody, that language or that the way that we present should be acceptable to everyone, and it should give the purpose for which that valuation is done or for which we have been hired. That purpose should be served. So the relevance, the underlying information in the valuation report must be relevant to the decision making. So it should give the relevance, the purpose for which it is the activity has started. The conclusion should be there, that we have used various principles, we have used various methods, out of which we come out to certain end, but that conclusion should be there, that should communicate to the user, that and the user should get the result that matches with the purpose. I mean, it's not like that we should purposefully make it for the user the way he wants. No, it's not like that. We following the various standards, following the principle, following the law, following the statute, and after following all these things, the methods prescribed, we should conclude it in such a way that it should serve the purpose, and the conclusion should be there, that the quantification should be there, that is required by the user. for its own purpose. Maybe the various purpose we have seen for which the valuation can be asked for. Materiality. The underlying information in the valuation report is the materiality. If its omission or misstatement could influence the economic decision. So, I mean, small mistake can make a big difference. छोटा सा भी कुछ एक number या points, अगर the numbers are very big and just for which the valuation is being done, even a small full stop can, or the small point value can make a big difference. So underlying information in the valuation report is material, and if omission or misstatement could influence the economic decision taken by the intended user. If you have put the wrong formula also, that is something which can create a big difference. Reliability. The underlying information in the valuation report must be reliable. Faithful representation. Faithful representation has the three characters, namely error-free, neutrality, and the completeness. So now coming to the topic, there's intellectual property. So in India, these are the 7 specific rights, which is termed as the intellectual property rights, because this has come out of pure intellectual thing only, the copyright. The copyright, it's maybe related to the literary, whatever is written or that has been published, and that has things have come out of the mind, no? The trademarks, the patents, geographical indication. I mean, I will explain each and every topic in the coming slides. Designs, semiconductor and integrated circuit layouts, and the plant variety. So these are the 7 things which is identified specifically as intellectual property rights in India. Now coming to the copyright. The copyright protects the expression of an idea. This is expression of an idea rather than an idea itself. Copyright can be obtained for original literary, dramatic, musical, and artistic works, cinematograph films, and the sound recording. Interestingly, a copyright protection can also be obtained for a computer programs. So copyright is an exclusive right that is granted to a person to do or tries to carry out certain activity with regards to the copyrighted work. So this copyright gives an exclusive right under an Copyright Act. In case, for example, in case of a literary, dramatic or musical work, the owner is permitted to perform such work, translation, and make adaptations of the work, etc. So the section 17 of the Copyright Act clearly states that the author of the original work shall be the first owner of the work. Shall be the first owner of the work. Further, the owner has the right to license the copyright of their work to the third parties through written agreement. So it can be something कि हम कुछ क्रिएट कर लें, है ना, हमारे पास दिमाग है, हाँ, पर कैपेबिलिटी नहीं है कि हम बिजनेस कर सके. तो जब हमने अपने दिमाग का यूज किया, हमने एक इंटेलेक्चुअल प्रॉपर्टी क्रिएट करी, उसको कॉपीराइटेड कर लिया, तो that itself become a product, and that product can be further licensed. So we got the license. I'm the first owner of the work which is done. I'm the principal owner. I'm the person who has given birth to this intellectual property IP. So I'm the father of that intellectual property. So being the father of that IP, I have a right to license it to the third party to use it for the business purpose, and I will get benefited out of the business is being done by the third party. So we know that मेरे पास एक लाइसेंस है, मैंने उसको किसी और को दिया, उस और वो लाइसेंस की वजह से उसने कुछ सेल किया, उस सेल का कुछ परसेंटेज आई कैन आस्क फॉर. सो without doing anything, because I've already done something, now without doing anything I'm earning. That is because the value of that copyrighted work, because that copyright is being used by the third person, he's doing business, he's earning, he has the knowledge how to use it properly. So we take an example of the Havels also. So what I've heard that that Havels was a company and which started going into losses in early days, and the original the founder was not able to handle it properly, and one of the dealer of the Havels bought the company, and now we know that where it is. The original person, the purpose of taking this example is that the original person may not know how to do that business, how to make business out of it, but he knows that there is a value to it. And the other person knows how to take a business out of it, and because he knows that there is a value to it, that is why he bought it or taken the license. So there is a the market participants are there. This is called the market participants. The buyer is there and seller is there. Both knows that there is a value to a particular product, and for that value estimation we are called for. तो हमारे पास केस आता है, हम उसको वैल्यू करते हैं, वैल्यूएशन करने के बाद there are various methods, we come to some point, and after that, basis that valuation, some agreements can be made between two parties. In case of published literary works, dramatical works, and artistic work, copyright protection shall be provided to such work for a term of 60 years. This is in the law. Now coming to trademark. So Trademark Act defines trademark as a mark capable of being represented graphically. So we know what is trademark, and which is capable of distinguishing the goods and services from one person to another person. That symbol, that color, the shape, because all these things, the symbol, color, shape, has come out of the mind only, the intellectual. I mean, from हमारी बुद्धि से आए हैं, है ना? उसको कैसे डिजाइन किया है, क्या कलर डाला है, क्या शेप है. So the primary requirement for the registration of trademark includes that it should consist of a mark capable of distinguishing the product or service from those of others. दोनों में अलग अलग हो, है ना? कॉलगेट का अलग ट्रेडमार्क है, और जो है सेंसोडाइन का अलग है. So that from that logo itself we identify that this is this product. Sometime there are a lot of variation to the product, no? So there जैसे Colgate है, Colgate भी बहुत तरह की आती है, herbal भी आती है, and वो नमक है या नहीं है, and we have seen lot of ads. So but that trademark is there, that is one only, and it doesn't mean that with each product that each variation the different trademark is there, but the trademark will remains one only and same, and there may be different variations to it. So validity of the trademark registration is for an initial period of 10 years, and that can be renewed to another 10 years. Now coming to patents. So patent is an intellectual property right which protects a new invention. Now, so far we have gone through the copyright, trademark. Now this is invention. Invention is something which we can understand that the Chandrayaan 3 and the ISRO has done in the Chandrayaan 3. So invention is there, something which is invented, no, which is related to technology, maybe related to process also. So something which is new, done newly, which was not earlier. huh? So it is an exclusive right that protects the rights of an inventor and prevents other person to unauthorizingly use or misappropriate the registered patent. The guaranteed term is 20 years. By filing an application, it can be done. So the most important point that is to be noted is that it's a new invention. It registered only if the invention is novel, original, and it has not been introduced in public domain in India or anywhere in the world, and capable of industrial application, which refers to the ability of the invention to be used in an industry, an invention that requires employ or process inventive steps, which is defined as a feature of invention that involves technical advancement as compared to existing knowledge, है ना? तो अभी जो है उससे ऊपर, है ना, अभी हम देख रहे हैं कि पहले पेट्रोल, डीजल, अब नाउ द बायोफ्यूल हैज कम, एथेनॉल की बात होती है, हाइड्रोजन की बात होती है. तो ये सब क्या है? These are all inventions that people have started looking in another alternatives, and which solar also, which is something which is newly being done. Earlier it was not there. आज से 20 साल पहले या 40 साल पहले कोई सोलर की बात नहीं थी, या फिर जो है बायोफ्यूल की बात नहीं थी. बायोफ्यूल ऑब्वियसली चूल्हों में यूज होता था एज अ फ्यूल, है ना, हम तो यूज करते आए हैं कंडे वगैरह. बट मैं गाड़ी की बात करूं तो गाड़ों में तो गोबर नहीं डालते थे. So patents act bestow each inventor whose patent has been registered with certain rights, namely, with respect to patent of a product, the right to prevent third parties from using, selling, making, importing, etc. a product without prior consent. So it gives the license to the person, to the inventor, and whose name it is registered, that he is the owner. Owner of what? Of a product. Patent for a product. So it patent can be for the process also. Now coming to the design. Design under the Design Act means includes only features of the shape, configuration, pattern, or ornaments or composition of lines, colors applied to an article, whether in 2-dimensional or 3-dimensional, 2D ho or 3D ho. But again, it should be novel. It has to be it has not been disclosed in public anywhere in India or outside. Clearly distinguishable. So these are the basic things which should be there in order to get registration of any intellectual property. So it should be new, नया होना चाहिए, novel होना चाहिए, अभी तक सुना ना हो, ऐसा होना चाहिए, देखा ना हो, है ना. But we have seen that whatever sometime we see that that invention that comes, no, that is sometime it's out of our shastras. उस शास्त्रों में है पहले से ही, but we have not started monetizing it. हमने उसको monetize नहीं किया. तो वो because monetize नहीं किया तो उसका पेटेंट वगैरह we have not something which we started for the industrial प्रोडक्ट नहीं बनाया उसको, तो इसलिए जो है वो हमने रजिस्टर्ड नहीं कराया, और ऐसे हमने सोचा ही नहीं. जब हम मॉनेटरी बेनिफिट ही नहीं सोच पा रहे तो हम उसको रजिस्टर्ड भी नहीं कराएंगे. सो पर्सन registered a particular thing only when he feels that there's something valuation, some value is there of which for, and he can take a benefit of that value. तो जब वो माइंड में होगा कि हाँ उसका कुछ वैल्यू क्रिएट कर सकते हैं, तो तभी वो रजिस्ट्रेशन के लिए जाएगा. So I take an example from the Shastras also. So what that in summer हम क्या करते हैं, जो तुलसी जी का पौधा होता है उस पर एक छोटा सा मटका लगाकर उसको टांग कर और छोटा सा छेद कर देते हैं, और वो बहुत डिप 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 करके जो है वो, that is into शास्त्रास, है ना. दिस इज दिस हैपेंस फॉर another 15 और 20 डेज होता है जब बहुत गर्मी होती है ना। तो क्या है, वो डिप डिप करके उस पर बूंद गिरती है, और बिकॉज द तुलसी प्लांट टेक्स लॉट ऑफ वाटर, उसको बहुत प्यास लगती है बहुत पानी पीता है ना। एवरी डे समथिंग शुड बी सम वाटरिंग शुड बी देयर, है ना। बट देयर आर सम प्लांट्स जिनका डेली वाटरिंग नहीं भी जरूरत होती है, बट हाँ, तुलसी के पौधे को वाटरिंग की जरूरत होती है ऑन डेली बेसिस, नॉट इन विंटर्स, but हाँ, in summer the watering is required. So this is what it is in the Shastra. Now Israel has take benefit out of it. I don't know from where they have come to know, but when I correlated it, it is in the Shastra that that is called dip irrigation. अभी देखो कि वो डिप डिप करके इरिगेशन करके कितना, जहां पे सूखा था वहां पे जो है वो कितना जो है वहां पे हरियाली आ गई, और कितना जो है वहां पे एग्रीकल्चर प्रोडक्शन हो रहा है ना। दैट इज डिप फार्मिंग. तो it is already there, but we have not seen any commercial value of it. But we have not seen any commercial value of it. But the other person has seen that the commercial value of it. अब उसने कमर्शियल वैल्यू हो देख ली तो उसने उसका रजिस्ट्रेशन भी कराया होगा. So this is something which I was thinking to share with you. That sometime it is already in somewhere, but even though it is not novel, but it is commercially novel this time. Because all people are not aware out of it. Only the some sadhus are, or the some spiritual persons are aware out of it that something is there, but and then they don't look for the any valuation or something, doesn't look for the money creation out of it. Geographical indications of a good. अब ये क्या है जियोग्राफिकल इंडिकेशंस ऑफ अ गुड? अब क्या है, किसी एक जियोग्राफी में कोई एक तरह का प्रोडक्ट होता है दैट इज फेमस देयर, है ना। जैसे दार्जिलिंग में दार्जिलिंग की चाय है ना। बनारस में बनारस की साड़ी है ना। बासमती राइस है ना। देयर आर लॉट ऑफ अदर थिंग्स. कहीं पर बैम्बू की चीजें जो है फेमस है. सॉरी. तो क्या है कि वहां पर वहां का एक्सपर्टाइज है, वहां की मिट्टी में ऐसा कुछ खास है कि वो कहीं और नहीं मिलता. सो मैनी गुड्स इन इंडिया आर वाइडली पॉपुलर ओइंग टू देयर प्लेस ऑफ ओरिजिन. So, geographical indication is defined as an indication which identifies such goods as agricultural goods, natural goods, manufactured goods, originated, where a given quality reputation. है ना, हम एक प्रोडक्ट को कहीं पे, अब देखिए एक डिफरेंस बताता हूं मैं. एक मेरे फ्रेंड हैं, उनके घर के बाहर जो है बेल का पेड़ लगा हुआ है. एक उनके बिल्कुल आंगन में बेल का पेड़ लगा हुआ है, मतलब रोड पे, मतलब जो उनका the property is on the road, and on the road there is a बेल का पेड़ which is just front of his property, or just uh, maybe 5 meters away there is another बेल का पेड़, and there is a one doctor who is staying there. अब वो कहते हैं कि कई बार वो बेल गिरती है नीचे, जो उनकी वहां से बेल गिरती है बहुत मीठी होती है, और वहां की जो बेल गिरती है उसमें कोई मिठास नहीं होती है. That has different taste altogether, just because of different the soil in just in a different I mean just very small piece of uh, just a very small difference of 5 meter only. There is something which is the tastes are different. That is, I just took an example of to make you understand about it. So geographical indication is defined as an indication which identifies such goods as agricultural goods, natural goods, or manufactured goods as originated or manufactured, where the given quality, so the quality is different, reputation or the characteristics to such good is essentially attributable to its geographical origin. And in case where such goods are manufactured goods, one of the activities of either the production or processing or preparation of goods concerned takes place in such territory, region, or locality as the case may be. And the person who is there, that makes, the person is a master of it, and the way he can make it, other people cannot make it. Let's say हम देखें जो है कश्मीर में का कावा बहुत वो फेमस है ना, अलग अलग एरिया में अलग अलग, आसाम की चाय भी फेमस है, तो अलग अलग एरिया में है ना। अब बंगाल का रसगुल्ला फेमस है, तो अलग अलग एरिया में अलग अलग क्वालिटी और अलग अलग प्रिपरेशन है, प्रोसेसेस हैं, द वे दे मेक इट, सो वो क्या है, दैट इज डिफरेंट। नाउ द क्वेश्चन अराइजेज, हु विल रजिस्टर इट, इसको रजिस्टर कौन करेगा? सो देयर आर एसोसिएशंस, सो हु टेक्स केयर ऑफ दीज थिंग्स। सो एसोसिएशन देखती है, एक इंडस्ट्री नहीं कर पाएगी, क्योंकि एक इंडस्ट्री करेगी तो दूसरी पीछे आएगी कि भैया ये तेरी प्रॉपर्टी थोड़ी ना है, यहाँ तो पूरा एरिया का है ना, द होल एरिया इज देयर, देन बिकॉज ऑफ दैट इंडस्ट्री देयर इज एन एसोसिएशन एंड एसोसिएशन टेक्स केयर ऑफ इट। नाउ कम टू अनदर पॉइंट, प्रोडक्शन of plant varieties and farmer right. The objective of Protection of Plant Variety and Farmer Right Act is to recognize rights of the Indian farmer to provide the protection of the plants varieties in order to encourage the growth and development of more plant variety. अब किसी एक फार्मर ने कुछ एक मान लीजिए ब्रीड तैयार कर दी है ना, सो now he has the right to get it registered ना, so and that if gets registered, then he will get satisfied, yes, I have done something, है ना। a new plant variety is registrable if it satisfies the all these principles of novelty, distinctiveness, uniformity and stability. So to elaborate the condition of novelty requires a so it should not be there already there in place. तो वो जो प्रिंसिपल हमने अब तक पढ़े हैं, द सेम प्रिंसिपल विल अप्लाई हियर आल्सो। द सेमीकंडक्टर इंटीग्रेटेड सर्किट्स, है ना। अब देखिए चिप है या फिर जो है कुछ सेमीकंडक्टर है उसमें बहुत सारे क्या क्या तारे इधर से उधर जा रही हैं, है ना। द वे इट इज डिजाइन, द वे, है ना, पहले इतने बड़े बड़े मोबाइल फोन आते थे, है ना, वो छोटे छोटे हो गए हैं। अब बिल्कुल मतलब अब घड़ी में भी सब चीजें हैं, ब्लूटूथ से चल रहा है, वायर इज नॉट रिक्वायर्ड इवन, है ना। तो this is how the technology is changing. Just one minute. Sorry, battery is getting low. I put it on charger. So semiconductor itself needs some intellectual power is required to draft it. So this is defined as a product having transistors and other circuitry elements which are inseparably formed as semiconductor material or insulating material inside the semiconductor material are designed to perform an electronic circuitry function, है ना। तो वो हो सकता है उससे इलेक्ट्रिसिटी सेव भी हो, है ना। द टेक्नोलॉजी चेंजेस, तो से जो है द वे इट इज डिजाइन, पहले it was taking a long route, now the person has made a short route, so XYZ can be done with this. So now, what are the benefits of owning that these types of intellectual property? So main reason that differentiate tangible property from intangible or intellectual property is its intangibility. The intellectual property rights allows creator, अब मान लीजिए आपका कोई आइडिया है ना, आपने उसको डेवलप किया, आपने मोहब्बत मोहब्बत में हमने किसी को शेयर कर दिया, अब उसने क्या किया, उसको चुरा लिया, और चुरा कर क्या किया, वो अपना खुद का काम करने लगा, तो आप बहुत फील बैड करेंगे, है ना, कि भैया ये मैंने जो है इसको शेयर किया था और इसने ऐसा ऐसा कर लिया, है ना। यू मे sue also that person. So we have seen lot of cases like that. Now, what are the benefits of getting registered an intellectual property is, so IP increases, so IP registration increases the competition in export market. IP assets can be monetized by sale. So monetary benefit तो है ही, तभी तो सब चल रहा है. IP registration creates an image of the business altogether. उसका एक different image create हो जाता है. IP turns creative idea into profit-oriented assets. IP promotes economic development. IP देखिए, ये भी बहुत मैटर करता है कि किस कंट्री में सबसे ज्यादा पेटेंट रजिस्टर्ड है. तो अब जब हम when Indrajit ji has made a introduction of mine, she mentioned that I have done something in the field of DSIR also. So while filing that earlier, we were still we can file an application of getting registered with the DSIR, and industry can file it. So uh, that in that application it is called for that where all patents are registered and how many patents are registered. तो क्या आप कर रहे हो, क्या टेक्नोलॉजी में आप कर रहे हो, है ना. तो वो वहां पर हमको एप्लीकेशन में देना पड़ता है. तो फ्रॉम ऑल दीज थिंग्स द साइंटिस्ट evaluates, yes, you are doing something, and then they gives the recognition. So that creates an economic development ना. अमेरिका में के कितने पेटेंट्स हैं, इंडिया में उतने नहीं है. So IP right begin a negative right prevents individuals, organization, or any third party from copying or exploiting the original work. अब वो प्रोटेक्टेड है, उसके पास लाइसेंस है, चिट्ठी है, जो दिखा सकता है सबको कि यस आई एम द फादर ऑफ इट. तो वो कोई चोरी नहीं कर पाएगा. अगर चोरी करता है देन उसको भुगतना पड़ेगा, है ना. ही हैज टू पे, ही हैज टू give the product back also sometime. The IP right is an exclusive right to produce the work, make copies of the work, has a right to sue also, has a right to sub license also. तो अब उसके पास है सब कुछ because he is the first owner. So we can read this also. For instance, if the owner registered its brands under trademark, then the registration of such IP gives protection to an enterprise and discourages counterfeiting. Hence, the customers can buy the goods and services with full confidence. How IPR help in monetizing IP? It is important to note that from a creative and innovative idea to an invention, at a stage of a chain, IP amplifies the value of the company. The enterprise invests a lot of money, time, efforts to make a creative idea into property and then registered IP. We have already read it. IP monetization means a process to convert a non-tangible, non-revenue generating product into royalties, revenues, and the money. ये सब पैसों का खेल है ना. तो जब किसी चीज के साथ कुछ वैल्यू जुड़ जाती है, कुछ मॉनेटरी वैल्यू जुड़ जाती है, तो वो क्या है, उसका उसका अलग से एक अरोमा बन जाता है और फिर जो है उसको आप रजिस्टर कर सकते हैं. फॉर इंस्टांस यहाँ पे दे रखा है कि आपका कोई जो है म्यूजिक वगैरह है, आप उसको उसके राइट भी दे सकते हो, उसको अपलोड भी कर सकते हो. यू हैव द राइट ओनली. नाउ द कैटेगरीज. Intangible assets or the intellectual property can generally be classified under the following broad categories: customer based, marketing based, contract based, technology based, artistic based. So we have seen that the 7 specific IP rights are there: the copyright, trademark, patent, geographical indication, design, semiconductor, plant variety. So copyright is a technology based, intangible asset, trademark, patent, technology. Customer base is there, design, artistic or the marketing base, semiconductor, technology base is there. So plant variety, technology base. Significant considerations. The following other significant considerations shall be made for the valuation of. Now we are moving towards the valuation part, and made for the valuation of the intellectual property to determine the purpose and objective, legal rights of the intellectual property to be valued, and to evaluate the highest and best use of consideration, to assess the history. We should assess the history and development of IP, to consider specific laws, regulation. We should give considerations to these things. that for what purpose and objective, and what legal rights are attached, and for how to get the highest and best consideration, the best value out of it, and what is we should know the history of that IP, and we should follow the various laws of the valuation before for doing the valuation. So there is an economic useful life of each IP. Could have a finite or infinite, indefinite life. So if it is okay, so economic life of IP is not the same. The economic and legal factors shall be considered together as well as individually while determining the useful life of the IP. So each and every IP has a different economic useful life. Discount rates. So we have, I mean, the lot of webinars are already done on, I think this topic must have been taken care about, so I'm not going much in detail. So discount rate is the return expected by the market participants. So tax amortization benefit, we should take care of it. Now coming to the various approaches or various methods by view of which we can value the intellectual property. So there's a market approach, there's a cost approach, and there's a income approach. So this market approach is very famous, and I think I understand that it is covered much in detail, but I still try to cover it, some of the few points of the market approach. Market approach is the valuation that is very general approach that we used to do in our daily life. मार्केट अप्रोच इज द वैल्यूएशन अप्रोच. मान लीजिए हम सब्जी खरीदने भी जाते हैं, सब्जी खरीदने जाते हैं तो एक बंदे से कुछ पूछते हैं क्या भाव दे रहा है, दूसरे से पूछते हैं क्या भाव दे रहा है, उसकी क्वालिटी देखते हैं, देन वी कम टू समथिंग कि हाँ यार इसकी प्राइस जो है, and basis considering the quality and all this thing, I'm just taking as a very simple example, then this is the best price that and for the best value. So market approach is the valuation approach that uses prices and other relevant information generated by the market transactions involving identical or comparable, that is similar assets, liabilities, or a group of assets, liabilities such as business. And it should not be too historical price, and it should be recent one. अभी जो मार्केट में करंट प्राइस चल रहा है उसके हिसाब से, ऐसे नहीं कि आपने 1950 का कोई प्राइस उठा लिया and then basis that you started doing the valuation. One cannot do it. So there are three methods within the market approach. Market price method is a method. The traded price observed over a reasonable period is used while valuing assets which are traded in the active market, and it should be recent one. Comparable company multiple method, CCM involves valuing an asset based on the market multiples derived from the prices of market comparables traded, है ना. सेम तरह के जो कंपैरेबल है मार्केट में ट्रेड हो रहे हैं ऑन एक्टिव मार्केट, एंड शुड बी एडजस्टेड टू फैक्टर्स टू मेक डिफरेंसेस बिटवीन टू और टू वन वैल्यूड अनदर. थोड़ा बहुत एडजस्टमेंट करके, मतलब सिमिलर है बिल्कुल, है ना, बट रेप्लिका नहीं है ना. तो उसके लिए जो है कुछ एडजस्टमेंट की जरूरत है, तो एडजस्टमेंट्स करेंगे, एंड देन वी कैन टेक इट एज अ CCM method. Comparable transaction multiple method involves valuing an asset based on the transaction multiple drive, है ना. Basis the transaction, एक transaction हुई है, it can be a number of beds in a hospital, एक transaction एक bed, या फिर in a hotel one room अगर इतने पे जा रहा है तो ना, considering that we can value the overall. एक रेंट का हमको पता है कि एक कमरा इतने रेंट पे जाता है ना, तो there are so many rooms in the hotel, and basis that we can value overall things of a hotel, if it is being sold or something which is being done. So this is how we have covered this market approach. The income approach, this is important. So income approach is a valuation approach that converts maintainable or future amounts to a single current amount. It's a valuation approach that converts a maintainable of future amounts, है ना, to a single current amount. उसको डिस्काउंट करके the fair value measurement is determined based on value indicated by current market expectation about those future amounts. In other words, the value of IP is the present value of income, present value of income expected or cost saved by the owner of IP either through owned operation or licensing, है ना, या तो खुद ही ऑपरेशंस करे, खुद ही बिजनेस करे, या वो लाइसेंस किसी को दे दे. Income so determined is adjusted with related expenses, and then it is discounted, and risk factor is also taken care. So common discount rates, I'm not covering more in detail, just I mentioned it here, that cost of equity it can be, and cost of debt, weighted average cost of capital, internal rate of return, and the yield. There are 5 methods under income approach. One is the relief from royalty, multi-period excess earning, with and without premium profit method, greenfield method, or distributor method. So we will cover all these one by one, because these are the specific major methods which is used for the IP. Relief from royalty. Under this method, the value of IP is determined by estimating. So I feel that so far I made justice with the topic. And now this is something which is the methods have started. We are starting discussing the methods to value it. So relief from the royalty method. Under this method, the value of IP is determined by estimating the value of total cost saved that would have otherwise been paid by the user as a royalty payment. है ना? आज मुझे बिजनेस करना है किसी चीज का, मान लीजिए मेरे को कोका कोला बनाना है, तो कोका कोला बनाने के लिए मेरे पास सब कुछ है, मशीन्स हैं, सब कुछ है, वो फॉर्मूला नहीं है, तो वो फॉर्मूला बाय करने के लिए मुझे कुछ पे करना पड़ेगा, रॉयल्टी देनी पड़ेगी. और अगर मेरा खुद का फॉर्मूला है, then that is a relief to me. I saved that money. I have the idea, I created that formula, and that creation is giving relief to me and relief to the royalty expense. This is how we value it. Following are the steps. So this is called the saving of the royalty payments. In simple words, the steps to obtain the projected income statement over the remaining useful life of the said assets, है ना, सेल्स ले लिया आपने, एनालाइज द प्रोजेक्टेड इनकम. आप ये कस्टमर ने आपके जो इंडस्ट्री है, कस्टमर है, उसने आपको सेल्स दिया, कंपनी ने दिया आपको वैल्यू करके, सेल्स दिया प्रोजेक्ट करके, आपने उसको एनालाइज किया, तो एनालाइज द प्रोजेक्टेड इनकम स्टेटमेंट एंड अंडरलाइंग असम्पशंस टू असेस द रीजनेबलनेस. क्या वो सही है, रीजनेबल है? ऐसा नहीं कुछ उन्होंने बहुत ही बड़ा चढ़ा के सब चीजें दिखा दी हूं. Select the appropriate rate based royalty rate based on the market based royalty rates. तो मार्केट बेस्ड, इंडस्ट्री बेस्ड रॉयल्टी रेट्स के हिसाब से आपने उसमें अप्लाई कर दिया, सेल्स का पार्ट बना दिया, उसका परसेंटेज निकाल लिया. अप्लाई द सिलेक्टेड रेट टू सेल्स. टैक्स एडजस्टमेंट्स ऑफ द टैक्स सेविंग्स ऑन द रॉयल्टी पेमेंट्स. अगर आप रॉयल्टी पे करते तो आपको जो है क्या होता, कुछ टैक्स का बेनिफिट मिलता, है ना. ऐसा नहीं है कि जो है आपका and this is something which I mean not required to explain in detail, because आपका जो अगर खर्चा है तो उसका टैक्स का एडजस्टमेंट भी होगा ना, टैक्स का बेनिफिट होगा. सो दैट एडजस्टमेंट इज टू बी मेड. डिस्काउंट द आफ्टर टैक्स रॉयल्टी सेविंग टू अराइव एट पीवी यूजिंग एप्रोप्रिएट डिस्काउंट रेट. अब हमारी रॉयल्टी की प्रोजेक्शंस आ गई, हमने सेल से वो रेट लगाकर जो है प्रोजेक्शंस निकाली, प्रोजेक्शंस के ऊपर हमने टैक्स का एडजस्टमेंट करा. टैक्स का एडजस्टमेंट करने के बाद जो बैलेंस बचा उसके ऊपर हम एक डेप्रिसिएशन का एडजस्टमेंट और कर सकते हैं ना. इनकम टैक्स में मान लीजिए कोई बेनिफिट है, उसका डेप्रिसिएशन अलाउड है, तो उसकी वजह से हमारा टैक्स पेमेंट कम जाएगा, तो वो एडजस्टमेंट भी हम कर सकते हैं इफ इट इज देयर. एंड देन on the balance we need to apply the discount rate. and then we'll get that the current date one amount valuation. Multi-period excess earning method. So name is very I mean, it's not much correlated with the steps, but yes, every method it's multi period only, है ना. हम एक साल का तो कुछ करते नहीं, प्रोजेक्शन हम बहुत सारे सालों के लेते हैं. एंड दैट इज एक्सेस अर्निंग मेथड. वो हम समझते हैं कैसे है. It is generally used for valuing IP that is leading or the most significant IP out of a group of IP being valued by segregating the earning attributable to intangible assets being valued. तो यहाँ पर जो है स्टेप्स हैं कैसे इसको फॉलो करना है. पहले जो है हमें सेम वे में जो है ओवरऑल बिजनेस का वैल्यूएशन निकालना है, प्रोजेक्शंस निकालनी है, एनालाइज द प्रोजेक्टेड इनकम स्टेटमेंट एंड its underlying and assumptions to assess the reasonableness. Contributed asset charges. So what is this? It represents the charges for the use of an asset or a group which contributes to realization of cash flows or economic rent. Is the rent expected to be paid for borrowing the assets? अब क्या है कि आपने आपके जो ओवरऑल असेट्स हैं, मतलब which includes the intangible जो आईपी है ना, जिसका आपको वैल्यूएशन करना है, सब कुछ मिला के एक जो हमारा जो बकेट है या बास्केट है, उसको आपने पहले उसका उसके दो हिस्से करने हैं. उसमें से आपने अपना आईपी जिसका वैल्यू करना है उसको सेपरेट करना है और अदर एसेट्स को सेपरेट करना है. दो बास्केट बन गए. आपने आइडेंटिफाई कर लिया, यहाँ में लिस्ट कर लिया कि ये है और ये है. लिस्ट करना है, खाली वैल्यू वैल्यू निकालना नहीं है इसमें, खाली इसमें लिस्ट करना है कि हमारे ये सारे एसेट्स हैं, ये हमारे आईपी हैं. और फिर उसके बाद जो है हमने सेल्स की प्रोजेक्शंस निकाल के रखी थी. फिर हमारा इस आईपी को छोड़ के ये जो मेरा असेट था, है ना, जो मेन असेट्स था मेरा, जिससे मैं टेंजिबली बिजनेस करता हूं, हाँ, तो उसको अगर मेरे पास नहीं होता, अगर वो मेरे पास बेस नहीं होता, मेरे पास खाली आईपी होता, हाँ, अगर मेरे पास खाली आईपी होता, मेरे पास वो बेस नहीं होता, वो इंडस्ट्रियल इक्विपमेंट्स नहीं होते, तो मैं क्या करता, उसको रेंट पे लेता. तो दैट इज कॉल्ड इकोनॉमिक रेंट, है ना. तो वो रेंट मुझे क्या करना है, इसमें से जो मैंने अभी पहला फर्स्ट स्टेप में जो हमने अमाउंट निकाली है उसमें से उसको माइनस करेंगे. फिर टैक्स एडजस्टमेंट फॉर द टैक्स सेविंग ऑन रॉयल्टी पेमेंट्स, डिस्काउंट द इंक्रीमेंटल जो भी आया डिफरेंस निकाल के, जो टैक्स एडजस्टमेंट करने के बाद जो इंक्रीमेंटल डिफरेंस आया, डिफरेंस जो आया उसको, उसके ऊपर हम डिस्काउंट रेट लगा देंगे. वी टेक एन एग्जांपल. If we take out the Bata brand, whether the company will be able to sell the shoes, maybe or may not be, है ना, पर उतना नहीं होगा सेल. In this method, we first take the total valuation from the same. एक total valuation कर लिया. We take the rental value of assets other than the Bata brand, assuming the company has only Bata brand, nothing else. तो पूरा हमने पहले से उसका जो कंपनी का एज अ होल अपना हमने प्रोजेक्शंस निकाली, है ना. उसमें से फिर जो है हमने अब बाटा ब्रांड को हटाकर बाकी का जो है इकोनॉमिकल रेंटल वैल्यू निकाला, दोनों को माइनस किया, उसमें टैक्स एडजस्टमेंट किया एंड देन उसका जो हमने डिस्काउंटिंग रेट लिया. दिस इज कॉल्ड, है ना, दिस इज कॉल्ड एक्सेस अर्निंग. दिस इज एन एक्सेस अर्निंग ड्यू टू दैट ब्रांड. So this is how the calculation is done. So there are projections, and then gross profit is there, operating profit, and then profit is calculated. After tax earning is there. This is the after tax earning. On that, this economical rental is applied. Percentage of revenue that is applied. After that, this is the difference between the two, 13 minus 4, this 9. And then PV factor is applied. And then this is how we come to the one valuation amount. I hope this is understood. This is not, I mean, not that technical. हमारा total valuation था. This was a total valuation out of which we applied the economic rental value, and this is the difference. On this difference, we applied the discounted rate, and then this is the total, and we come to the final valuation. This is how this multi-period excess earning method working is done. Now, with and without method, as the name suggests, so something, some value, some projections with and some projections without, and then making a difference out of it. So this is where it is explained. So WWM, the value of IP to be valued is equals to the present value of the difference between the projected cash flows from business, including and except intangibles to be valued. Steps: obtain the projections of the entity for the combined assets overall over the remaining useful life, including including the IP and except the IP. दो अलग-अलग. Analyze the projected statement and underlying assumptions to assess the reasonableness. तो ये जो valuation आएगी, including and excluding, उनको analyze करना है. Discount the difference between the, फिर difference निकालना है, उसको discount करना है, tax adjustment करना है. This is how the value comes. I hope this is understood. It's not that technical. With and without method. हमारे पास दो वैल्यू लेनी है, विद आईपी एंड विदाउट आईपी, दोनों का डिफरेंस निकालना है. डिफरेंस के ऊपर जो है आपने डिस्काउंट रेट लगाना है और कुछ टैक्स एडजस्टमेंट है, दैट इज नीड टू बी डन, एंड दिस इज हाउ इट इज वैल्यूएशन कैन बी अचीव्ड. Now the fourth one is, although it is fifth one, now I brought it to fourth because it is same as in the method is same as meme. Meme is multi-period excess earning method. It's called meme. So there is a variation of meme. This is a variation of meme only. Like same. एक variation है, मतलब एक कुछ हल्का सा इसके अंदर अंडरलाइंग जो आईपी है वो चेंज होता है, जिसकी वजह से इसका नाम चेंज हो गया. अदरवाइज इट इज मीम ओनली. This is a variation of meme and is adopted for valuation of the customer base IPA. When meme is applied to value another intangibles. तो meme जो है बाकी जगह यूज होता है. मतलब the way the process, the methodology is same. The method is same, but it is called with different names. If it is used for valuing the customer base IP assets, then it is called distributor method or distribution method, or otherwise for others it will be called in meme. So now we have come to the fifth method, that is called the greenfield method. The basic assumption here is that the IP is only asset with all other tangible or intangible assets being created, leased or acquired. IP is the only asset. Instead of contributory assets charged generally deducted from the cash flows, a valuer is required to subtract replacement cost of the asset that is required to be built or bought. मीम में क्या किया था? मीम में हमने इकोनॉमिक रेंट माइनस किया था. यहां पे हम क्या है, रिप्लेसमेंट कॉस्ट माइनस करते हैं. दिस इज द ओनली डिफरेंस. ग्रीनफील्ड प्रोजेक्ट्स होते हैं, हम देखते हैं ग्रीनफील्ड प्रोजेक्ट्स कौन से होते हैं, जहां पे आप पूरा पूरा इंडस्ट्री लगाते हैं, है ना, एंड that is the only thing, because of it this method is called greenfield, because यहाँ हम पूरा का पूरा नया इंडस्ट्री रिप्लेस करने की बात करते हैं, उसका कॉस्टिंग एस्टिमेट करते हैं. तो स्टेप्स क्या है? तो obtain the projections for the entity or the combined assets group over the remaining useful life. This is same in all case. Analyzing the same project. Now This is important. Project the amount and timing of expenditure. Amount and timing of expenditure related to the acquisition and creation. तो जब जब हमको कोई एसेट चाहिए उसका टाइमिंग के हिसाब से, है ना, और कब कब चाहिए, कितना कितना एक्सपेंडिचर होगा, उसका जो है हमें एस्टिमेशन निकालना होता है ताकि हम उसको रिप्लेस कर सकें उस असेट को. And then making the difference between the projected cash flow and the two scenarios to arrive at the, and then discount it, and will come to the present value, tax adjustment. This is how this method is done. Hope this is understood. In greenfield, we subtract the replacement cost. In meme, we subtract the economical rental value. Economic rental value, not economical, sorry. So in this method, it is assumed that the company has to recreate all assets. So firstly, we will value the whole business, then leaving the IPA, evaluate the cost to recreate the assets. Other than that IPA, we should uh, calculate the replacement cost other than IPA. The third approach is the cost approach. So far, we have done the market approach and then income approach. Now, the third one is the cost approach. The cost approach is the valuation approach that reflects the amount that would be required currently to replace the service capacity of an asset. तो जो एसेट काम कर रहा है, जिस तरह से काम कर रहा है, उसको रिप्लेस करा जाए, है ना, that valuation of that cost is called the cost approach. This is based upon the principle of substitution. मतलब substitute कर रहे हैं means the amount that will be required to create a new similar IP adjusted for depreciation. This approach is not good for unique IPA like patents. तो सब्स्टिट्यूट करना किसी एसेट का एंड देन एडजस्टेड फॉर द डेप्रिसिएशन, उसका करंट जो ओवर उसका जो यूजफुल लाइफ था कितना बीत चुका, उसको उस करंट वैल्यू पे लेके आना, दैट इज कॉल्ड एडजस्टेड फॉर डेप्रिसिएशन. एंड देन दैट वैल्यूएशन इज कॉल्ड द कॉस्ट अप्रोच. देयर आर टू मेथड्स टू इट, reproduction cost method and replacement cost method. And from the name, one cannot differentiate much what is the reproduction and what is the replacement. But yes, the definition explains it, what is reproduction and what is replacement. In case of a reproduction, a replica of an asset is created. I mean, the cost is estimated. Similar, bilkul same, ek jaisa, replica of asset, of which the cost estimation is done, means creating a replica of assets already in use. This method involves valuing an asset based upon the cost that a market participant shall have. So, an asset based upon the cost that a market participant buyer shall have to incur to recreate a replica of asset to be valued. Adjusted for obsolescence means the depreciation. Replacement cost method means similar asset already in use. So here the replica is not required, only a similar asset can be used, है ना. उसका जैसा मे बी आपके पास जर्मन टेक्नोलॉजी हो, आप चाइनीज ले आओ, सिमिलर है ना. कोई एक मशीन है, दैट सम फंक्शन सेम, चाहे वो जर्मन टेक्नोलॉजी की हो, कटर है ना, कोई टायर कटिंग मशीन है ना, तो वो भी वही काम करेगी. हाँ, पर ब्लेड की क्वालिटी डिफरेंट होगी, है ना, उसका ब्रांड वैल्यू होगा, हाई प्राइस होगी, डिफरेंस तो होंगे दोनों में, बट दैट इज सिमिलर एसेट ऑलरेडी इन यूज. अगर आपको चाइनीज में ले आओगे तो टायर वो भी काटेगी, बट हाँ उतना नहीं, उसका जो ब्लेड्स हैं इतना लंबा समय तक नहीं चल पाएंगे जितना जर्मन चल जाए. That is just an example. This method involves valuing an asset based upon the cost. Valuing an asset based upon the cost that a market participant, means buyer, shall have to incur to recreate an asset with substantially मीन्स थोड़ा बहुत ब्लेड का डिफरेंस है तो चलेगा, मतलब थोड़ी धार का फर्क है कोई बात नहीं, with substantially the same utility of asset to be valued adjusted for obsolescence. So what is obsolescence? Under the replacement cost method or reproduction cost method, estimated cost for recreating an asset is required. The following are the common types of obsolescence. Physical obsolescence can be there, functional and technological, and economic obsolescence. So all these adjustments should be taken care while valuing. So maybe physically it is, or technologically डाउन हो जाए कुछ, है ना, और इकोनॉमिकली उसकी वैल्यू ही नहीं ला रहे हैं, है ना। आज जो पहले तो टीवी आते थे सीआरटी वाले, तो आज उसका कोई वैल्यू ही नहीं है, तो वैल्यू इज देयर बट दैट हैज गॉन डाउन। तो all these adjustments need to be made for overall valuation or estimation in case of the cost approach method. So friends, this is something which was related to the intellectual property valuation, and we have gone through, I just summarize it another 2 minutes, 3 minutes. We understood that what is intellectual property, and that is has some value to it, and because that value is the monetary value, and that can be valued. Intellectual property comes out of the intelligence only. बुद्धि की संपत्ति है ये, है ना, हमारे दिमाग से निकली है, हवाई किला है, but that हवाई किला is something which can create value, and that can be registered under various act. These are the act which protects that IP, उसको प्रोटेक्ट करता है ताकि कोई चोरी ना कर पाए, है ना। रजिस्ट्री कैन बी डन, इट मींस द एप्लीकेशन कैन बी मेड एंड देन वी कैन गेट द लाइसेंस टू इट. For what purpose these valuations are done, then we have gone through that there are various purposes like business merger, and other methods, other purposes for which this valuation can be done. We should take care of the basic principles while valuing a particular IP as per the standards provided by the ICI, taking care for what purpose, for whom, and keeping in mind the objective, and the materiality and reliability and the faithfulness should be there. These are 7 types of IP. We have already gone through one by one: the copyright, trademark, patent, geographic, design, semiconductor, plant variety. We have gone through definition of each and every one: the copyright, trademark, patent, design act, geographical, which is done by the associations usually, the protection of the plant variety and the farmers, semiconductor. So here I take one example that there are various case laws. You people usually come in to know that किसने किसको केस किया. बिस्लरी का भी केस था, और कोको कोला का था कुछ केस, वो भी एक केस था. इस्कॉन का भी एक केस था, where there was a one ISKCON, the person opened a ISKCON cloth private limited something. They was selling clothes, and then the ISKCON temple made a suit to that person that they are using his brand. So, and then they won the case. So this is how the brand or the value can be used by other person. One can stop, who is the owner of that can stop that person using that brand value. So that is why this all is registration is required, and only after registration only then the person becomes the father of that. The protection of the plant variety, semiconductor, and integrated circuit layout. Benefits of ownership is this. We have gone through that. What are all benefits that father gets out of the birth of this IP? How it can be monetized. So person can himself do the business, or otherwise he can give it on lease, no, or can license to other person to do the business, and then take a certain percentage as a profit or as a royalty for the as a benefit or a monetary benefit. Uh, Specific consideration we should keep in mind, and these are some basic things we should follow and or keep in mind while doing the valuation. These are the three approaches or three type of methods, and out in that these three type of methods, there are another different methods that is prescribed, market price method and all, another two methods which we are already aware of. We have done in, I think must have done in earlier webinars also. And this is income approach method. This is the main approach that is used in case of IP or intangibles. And these are 5 relief from royalty. The person get the relief because of the royalty, because he doesn't have to pay that royalty, and then that royalty amount which is not payable, or which is saved, uh, can be can give different value to the IP. Because of that, that royalty is being saved. So that is how this the valuation in case of relief from royalty method is done. We have gone through that. I mean, the tax benefit adjustment, depreciation adjustments need to be done, and then overall scene, we need to first identify the industrial rate of the royalty, and then the royalty rate can be applied, and then the royalty amount will come, and then the tax adjustment need to be done. What if had that amount paid to other person, then the overall profit will go down, so that tax adjustment need to be done, and then depreciation if any, and then discount rate. Multi period excess earning method, we have already gone through that. In case of multi period excess earning method, there is a valuation of overall valuation. One has to analyze that, and then there is a separate basket of asset other than an IP, of which we need to evaluate the economic rent, and that economic rent need to be subtracted, and that is called the contributor set charge, contributory CAC, and that after that deduction on the balance, their discount rate and tax adjustments need to be done. We have gone through the example of a Bata brand, that if the Bata brand is there and we don't have the asset, then we can take it on rent and then we can value it. So itself, I mean, if Bata brand is not there, and then the sale will not be that much, that how that is being done along with the Bata brand. This is example that we have covered. With and without method, we have seen that with the IP and without IP, both projections need to be done, need to be subtracted, and then on the difference, this discount rate need to be applied, and tax adjustment. And this distributed method is same as mean. It is just the difference is that the underlying IP is different. That is in case of a customer based IP, like a customer agreement with the customers, or the customer list, all this. So distributor method is applied, and I mean that method is named as distributor method, and for others it is called mean. Greenfield, it's creating a greenfield project, or I mean keeping I mean on papers creating a greenfield project, like I mean the overall valuation is required, and then other than the IP, cost need to be estimated for, and along with the timing of expenditure for the acquisition and creation, that cost need to be subtracted from the overall projections, and then on the difference, that's the PV need to be calculated by applying the discount rate. Tax adjustment is required. Cost approach we have gone through, the replacement cost method, reproduction cost method. Reproduction cost method is a method which creates the replica of asset, and in case of replacement cost method, it is a similar type of an asset that is created, and we should take an adjustment of the obsolescence. With all this, I end this presentation, and thanks the Fraternity and ICI and Valuation Board for giving me an opportunity to share my views. Now I give back to Ms. Indrajit Kaur to go ahead.
Thank you so much, sir, for your knowledge sharing session on intellectual property rights. And so now we have some questions from the participants. So I'm just sharing the questions with you, and please answer that. So first question we have, is brand an intangible asset or is it an intellectual property?
Yeah, brand is an intellectual property because we have seen that the Bata, which is created the name, design, and the brand value that is created, that has a separate value. And if that is not there, then that much sale not be there.
Okay. Another question, what are the examples of intellectual property which is not classified as intangible asset?
Intellectual property which is not qualified as,
Classified as intangible asset.
no, I don't know. I mean, any such asset. I mean, every intellectual property is intangible if it has a monetary value to it.
Okay, so another question, if patent registered in India, it gives security in which all countries in addition to India?
Yes, I understand that the patent for getting the benefit of the patent in other countries also, it should be registered there as well, but internationally as well. But it should be first registered in India. One cannot do it I mean, without registering in India and go internationally. If it is created in India, then it should be registered in India first, and then it can one can go for the international patent as well.
And, can you please give in cases where IP have indefinite life?
There are a lot of I mean, that you see the Tata brand, Taj Hotel, that is there. That is, I mean, that is coming from last so many years. It has indefinite life. I mean, infinite life. And but the valuation need to be done with certain set of projections only, and for that rest we should have a this terminal value, and because that is called the projections for the year of growth, and when the terminal value for the when it is stable. So that both need to be taken together to value the asset.
So last question, how royalty payment is computed in WWM method for computation of tax adjustment for the tax saving on the royalty payments?
No, I mean, for royalty, there's a separate. If something that specific is there, we should follow that method. For if the royalty is there, if there's something which is related to royalty, then we should first apply the royalty method. And we have understood how this royalty method need to be applied. We should have a sales basis that we should apply this royalty rate, and we can do the calculation and all these things. I hope this is answered properly. If some doubt still is there, one can ask.
Okay. Thank you so much, sir, for answering all the questions very well. So we would like to extend our heartfelt gratitude to our esteemed speaker, Sumitji, for delivering an insightful and engaging speech during this webinar. And so your expertise and valuable insights have greatly enriched our participants' knowledge. So thank you for being a part of this event and inspiring our audience. And We are very grateful for all the valued participants, dedicated board members, and our esteemed chairman and vice chairman for their invaluable contributions to this webinar on valuation. So, thank you all for your valuable presence. Very
Thank you all colleagues, and thank you to you as well for being a moderator of this overall session, and thanks to all the person who all, coordinated from the beginning, and thanks to the ICI and Valuation Board and all participants for being with me. Thank you.